Welcome to Theater Crafts, where we take theater memorabilia and we make brand new treasures. Okay, so today's project I've been wanting to do for a very long time. You see, I went to New York City to see a bunch of Broadway shows, and when I was in the airport, I saw this inspiration image. I loved it. I thought, I have programs, I have playbills, I can create something like that and use it for wall art in my own space. So I've taken those playbills and I have created this wall art. And I love this because you can see the different shows that are represented, and you can look at this for years to come and just remember the experience that you had seeing each of those shows. Okay, so today we're going to make wall art using playbills. All right, let's get crafting.
Thank you for joining me at the workbench. So I'm going to give you kind of a lowdown. I've started a little bit just to save us some time here. So you see I have just basic foam board here, foam board that I had. And what I did here is I just took the covers of the playbills and I found some that I thought were kind of really clear of what show they were based on the colors or the imagery that is on there. So I took those and I glued them down. I used a spray mount. You could certainly use a white glue if you wanted. You just want to be careful that it doesn't buckle on you. And there are a couple of bubbles in mine, but generally they look pretty good. So you're going to take these and then we're going to cut them up. So I did this this way just to save space because the foam board is rather expensive. So you really want to have a good ruler. So this is a good one, doesn't slip, and a very sharp utility knife. This is obviously sharp. You want to be careful, but you want to be able to get clean cuts on the board. So I'm going to show you just a couple of the cuts, and then I'll fast forward through so you don't have to see all of the cuts. So I'm going to start here, and you want to hold that ruler down very tightly. And FYI, just so you know, the mat that I have on my work table is it's hard to see there, right here on the work table is a self-healing mat. So you really want to protect the surface underneath so that you don't damage it with the utility knife. This is meant for cutting, so using rotary blades and such for sewing. So I'm protecting my counter underneath. All right, so you want to take your utility knife and really just drag it straight through. Now I found that it takes a couple of passes for me, just being very methodical. No, that one didn't go completely through. And you really want to make sure that your blade is sharp. So I'm going to change my blade multiple times during the course of making these. Oh, it didn't go through that time either. All right, let's see if I can get it through this time. I could feel it going there. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you see there, it's a pretty clean cut. You can always clean it up if you need to. And then I'll cut. I mounted them so that they were flush on the bottom and the side, just to save on some cuts. And then I will cut this piece right here. And again, you want to line that up right at the edge. And just make clean cuts through. Oops, that one got through twice. And twice. Okay, so there you go. And I have a couple that I've already cut here. Honestly, you could just hang these like this. These are pretty awesome. They're nice and sturdy. You could hang them in your room, your dressing room, your classroom, whatever. I actually like these a lot. But like I said, we're going to make a really special image for this, and I'm going to cut out the rest, and then I will get back to you and show you the next part of the project. Believe it or not, it only took me a couple of minutes to cut all of those. It was very fast work with the utility blade, And so I'm actually quite surprised that it took me as a little time as it did. So now what you're going to do is you're going to look at, obviously you've got the word playbill. So you've got the 7 letters there. I have 9 programs here just because of the space that I had. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut like down in, from the top to the bottom for each one of those letters. So now it's all about trying to figure out which letter you want. So like you might want to have part of Elphaba's face in the Y there. Maybe, this one you may not be able to know what it is with just the P. So that might not be a good option for P. But you might be able to, with Frozen, you might be able to tell that that is Frozen. Like just in the same with Come From Away, you may not know what the P is for Come From Away. So now it's the process of me figuring out which letters are going to go where. So I think I will do P for Frozen for Playbill. So let's see. The L is tricky. Although I could do the L for Lion King. That would probably be clear for Lion King. And then the A. Ooh, I bet I could do the A for Dear Evan Hansen. So that would be... And you also want to think about the colors side by side too. All right, the Y is probably a good one for Wicked. And then the B, kind of would like... Oh, we got this one too. The B from Hadestown. Let's do that. The I. Oh, we could have done the for Playbill. We could have done the B or the Y for. I wonder if we can switch that up. Let's see. I wonder if we could do maybe the A. I'm just trying. Let me see. Because I love the Hamilton one too. That's kind of cool. B, I wonder if we'd be able to tell. Let's see. The L from, maybe the L from Come From Away. Although the B there is really nice too with the globe. Although I don't like the 2 blues next to each other here. So maybe I go with something else here. So let's see. We could do the Lion King on any others too. So let's see. Could we do the L? You see the problem here. So I'm going to kind of play with this a little bit, and I will come back on. I'll let you know what I decide. Okay, so this is what I decided. So I'm going to do the P from Hadestown over here. The L from Frozen, we'll get that. The A from Lion King. The Y from Wicked. So that will give me a good picture of Elphaba there. The B from Hamilton. That will give us a little bit of Hamilton there. The I from And Juliet, and then we have L from Come From Away, and then I also have another L here from Dear Evan Hansen if we feel we need it. So Once in this Island I think I'm going to leave out for now. So we have the 8 letters. I think I said 7 earlier. It's 8 letters. So that's what I'm going to do. We'll see how it turns out. So basically what we're going to do next is I'm going to keep these in order so that I don't forget. So I'm going to go to I'm going to do it this way because it's easier for me to cut this way. I'm going to go to the letter, and we're going to cut straight down. So I'm famous for eyeballing it, I'm going to be honest. Although I have a grid on my mat, so I can really see on my mat if I'm pretty straight. Okay. So here we go. This is our first, our first cut. Let's see how that works. And again, you want a really sharp knife because it will cut through your, or tear your paper, and you don't want that. All right, there's the P. Okay. All right, now we're going to go to the L from Frozen. So this one's going to give us a couple of cuts. So actually, I'm going to do it this way so I can see. Okay. So I have to cut the P first. So the beauty of that is it's going to give me others that I can make. So that'll be kind of cool. I'm going to make sure I don't get it too close to the L there. Okay, there we go. So now we want the L in this one, obviously. So just make sure we're not too close to the A. Okay, and there's our L. So we've got the P and the L. Now, obviously, the P is wider because of the way the words are wider. The space is wider next to the P. I might actually cut that down to make it a little bit more uniform. All right, so I'm going to go through the rest of them doing the same exact process, and then I'll let you see where we're at after that. Okay, so this is what I decided. So I'm going to do the P from Hadestown over here, the L from Frozen. We'll get that. The A from Lion King, the Y from Wicked. So that will give me a good picture of Elphaba there. The B from Hamilton. That will give us a little bit of Hamilton there. The I from And Juliet. And then we have L from Come From Away. And then I also have another L here from Dear Evan Hansen if we feel we need it. So Once on this Island, I think I'm going to leave out for now. So we have the 8 letters. I think I said 7 earlier. It's 8 letters. So that's what I'm going to do. We'll see how it turns out. So basically what we're going to do next is I'm going to keep these in order so that I don't forget. So I'm going to go to I'm going to do it this way because it's easier for me to cut this way. I'm going to go to the letter, and we're going to cut straight down. So I'm famous for eyeballing it, I'm going to be honest. Although I have a grid on my mat, so I can really see on my mat if I'm pretty straight. Okay, so here we go. This is our first our first cut. Let's see how that works. And again, you want a really sharp knife because it will cut through your or tear your paper, and you don't want that. All right, there's the P. Okay. All right, now we're going to go to the L from Frozen. So this one's going to give us a couple of cuts. So actually, I'm going to do it this way so I can see. Okay. So I have to cut the P first. So the beauty of that is it's going to give me others that I can make. So that'll be kind of cool. I'm going to make sure I don't get it too close to the L there. Okay, there we go. So now we want the L in this one, obviously. So just make sure we're not too close to the A. And there's our L. So we've got the P and the L. Now, obviously, the P is wider because of the way the words are wider. It's the space is wider next to the P. I might actually cut that down to make it a little bit more uniform. All right, so I'm going to go through the rest of them doing the same exact process, and then I'll let you see where we're at after that. And I have finished cutting out the playbill strips. I love the way this looks. You can see each of those shows and what they, just based on the image, you can tell what show they are. Now, obviously, the playbill doesn't line up. That's because of the way the programs are. They don't all have the same spacing, but I actually find that that's kind of charming about this. I love the use of the colors. I do have to admit that when I was cutting, once I started going through, I did make sure I took just a tape measure while I was lining it up, just to make sure that I was getting them even. I don't like this. This one doesn't look quite as even, and so I tried to, as I was going down, make sure that the strips were going straight up and down, and I did line them up with the mat, the grid on the mat. All right, so then there, this could be it. You could just take it and mount it on a foam board and mount that. That would be amazing and would look great. And then, obviously I have all of the remaining pieces, and I could make lots of them with what I've got here. I do have these frames. I bought these frames a while ago. I've been wanting to do this project for months, honestly. And so I bought these frames. I'm sorry, my ring light is reflecting in it. But I thought this might be kind of cool. And originally my thought was that the playbill could go in this center section. I don't know if you can see that. The center section here, there's a mat on the outside. In looking at it now, the playbill, it's actually too big. If you can see, it goes outside of the space there. So what I think I might try to do is take off the mat and put a base, I don't know, it could be even something like this is a contact sheet from my Cricut. This is just a background. It might be kind of fun and glitzy. So I'm going to take this out of the packaging and then we'll give it a try. So I've taken the frame apart. There was a film on each side of the plexiglass, and I took that off, and that's the back of the frame there. There's the front. I actually like the black, so I thought that would work nicely with the playbills. This is the back of the backboard, and it could be mounted, so it has the sawtooth here mounting, or it could just be resting on a tabletop. Here's the matte frame. Like I said, I'm not going to use that for this. And then this was the image that I had in the frame. I'm actually going to try to use this only because I don't want to add a lot of bulk, since the playbills on the foam board are quite bulky. I don't want to add a lot of bulk because I'm not sure it will fit in the frame. So this is, we're going to try this together and see if this works. So I'm going to just take a look. I want to test this before I go all out. So this is the sparkly silver. And then I'm going to put these on it. Now this certainly makes it glitzy, I have to say. And we'll see if this is the aesthetic that we're going for. Oh, it's quite glitzy. I'm not sure I like it, honestly. And I actually like sparkles, so I'm not sure I'm a fan. Let's see. I do have other, like, contact paper that I could use as a background. I don't know. What do you all think? Leave me your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. I'm going to grab a different sheet and we'll see what that looks like. So I went through my Cricut vinyl stash just to see, and I found this yellow, thinking maybe that would kind of complement, although I think the yellow, it's not quite the same yellow, and so I'm not a fan of that. And I also found black. I think black might be a good offset for some of the colors, so I'm going to go with black. The other thing I found while I was kind of rummaging around is I found this chipboard, and I cut it to the same size as the backing, and I think that will make it a little bit sturdier for applying our images, our playbill images. So I'm going to use that for the base. The beauty of using the Cricut material is the background, they have a grid, and so it makes it really easy to cut the vinyl so that it will fit your project. Now I cut it actually a little bit bigger so that I can trim it down. All right, so but getting it on there is going to be the trick, to be honest. So let's see if I can get the background off. And it's really sticky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to line it up on the edge here, and then I'm going to kind of roll it down. Just because I don't. Okay, so I got a phone call right in the middle, and it stopped recording. So I've been able to get that down without any bubbles, so that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is, like I said, I've got a little bit of extra. I'm just going to trim those extra pieces off, and we'll make it flush right to the board that the chipboard that I'm going to mount on. Actually, it might be easier for me to cut with the knife. Yep, a lot easier. Okay. Oh, that is so sticky. All right, let's do the other side. Okay, and there we go. There's our base. Okay, so now it's about trying to figure out placement on the board. So we've got I'm trying to make the edges about equal, so that's about 2¼ inches on that side. We get a little bit more than that, almost 2½. It's so funny because it feels like it's okay. And it's just about moving these so that they have the integrity of the playbill, obviously, but then you want it to be centered on the board. So I've been using the ruler to try to make sure at least the top is in alignment. The bottom is not as important. I want the playbill obviously to be more in alignment. So I've got about a little over 1.5 inches on the bottom, and on the top, you can't see it in the thing, I've got like 1.75 inches. So now it's got to be moved up a little bit. I could actually, like right now, the bottoms are not all lined up. That kind of bothers me. I'm going to say, so you can see the bottom there. They don't all line up. And I feel like I probably should cut those down so they're all lined up. I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to take these off my background here and then line them up on my mat and cut them so they're all exactly the same height. For whatever reason, they didn't end up all the same height when cutting them. Okay, see how they're a little bit askew on the bottom. So I'm going to cut them. Just want to make sure they don't move on the top there. just going to trim a little bit on the bottom. So I got to make sure I am really holding that tightly so they don't move. All right, a little nervous, I'm going to be honest. Oh. Oh. Ah, I'm so nervous that they're... Oh. Come on, come on. Okay, phew. Oh, that was nerve-wracking. I'm gonna be honest. Let's see if those look better. Okay, this one is a little wonky on the bottom. I'm not liking that. It's hard because the foam board is so. It sometimes can be difficult to cut through. It certainly looks better than it did, I'm going to say. I like the way this L looks. It's kind of looks, just trim off the bottom of that. It looks a little angled. That looks better. Of course, I might be ruining it right now. Oh, that's better. That's much better. It was angled before. It wasn't laying right, and that was bothering me. Okay. See, now these are all a little bit... I'm afraid if I play with it too much, it's going to ruin it. Just this one is not cut straight across. Oh. Better. And now I'm going to play with this one a little bit just because it's not quite even. Alright, that's better too. Okay, alright, so that makes me feel better. Alright, so now let's go back to this. So I think I'm going to, let's put these back on here. I'm going to use just like a strip of glue on this to, let's see, to glue them down rather than like an E6000 or something like that. You don't need that. I don't even think I want to use like a hot glue. I feel like that will not be the right choice for this particular project. So I'm gonna just kind of play with these for a second, and then looks much better the way those are lined up. All right, let's see. Okay, that's almost 2.5. All right, so we need to move these over just a smidge. All right, so I'm going to play with this a little bit, get them in the right spot, and then we're going to glue them down. So this is the kind of glue I've chosen to use. It's basically, you're going to take it and you just run the glue onto the back like this. And I don't know if you can see that. So I'm just going to put the glue on all of the pieces, and then it's all about getting them lined up properly so that we can mount them. And this particular glue is a permanent glue. You can get it at any craft or fabric store. It's widely available. And because these are so lightweight, it for me feels like a good option. This one's kind of thin, so. Okay. All right, here's the moment of truth. I'm going to be honest, this is a little nerve-wracking. All right, so I've put the ruler here, and I've got it on the grid. So I can do my best to try to get them even. All right, so we've got the P. We'd said about 2, and I'll put this down 2 inches. It's about 2 1/4. That. I'm just going to lay them there just right now, just so that I can. I'm not gonna push them down yet. Do about 2 1/4 here too. And I'm looking at the bottom just to see if I'm close there. I also want to make sure that they're about equally lined up between the letters too. I'll have to play with them a little bit. Whoops, I just hit my camera, sorry. Alright, so I clearly need to space them out a little bit better. It feels crooked. This is the trickiest part, because if it doesn't look even when you've mounted it, it's just gonna look bad. A little bit. I could play with this all day and not be happy with the placement. You know how that goes. I always feel like whenever I'm doing a project, you can play with it all you want, and it's it's still gonna feel off. All right, so it's 2 1/4 there, and that's 2 1/4. That's 2 1/4. Okay, so it's even on both sides. So that feels good to me. And oh, the top. It's this, I think, that's throwing me off, that the yellow is not the same width on all of them. So that's what I feel like that's throwing me off a little bit. All right, I'm gonna go for it. I'm just gonna press them down and see that we get these secured. Oh, that moved a little bit. The line moved a little bit. Okay, I think we're set. Woo-wee. All right. Okay, so now we're going to put this into the frame and see if it upside down. Put that into the frame. Oops. The glass is not sitting properly. Go. And should I get it the right side up? All right. And then closing all of these. All right, here we go. We're gonna see it the first time together. Oh, that is pretty awesome. All right, I know my ring light is showing there. Sorry about that. But I love it. I think that is so fun. Oh, it's totally like the inspiration image that I found, and I am loving it. So please try this. If you get a chance, send me pictures. I want to see your success with it as well. So thank you so much for joining me for this week's theater craft, and I will see you next week. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week.